between the U.S. and Philippines now. Joining us right now is Florida Congressman, member of the House Armed Services and Homeland Security Committees, Carlos Gimenez. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. I know you met with the president of Taiwan last week with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Tell us about the meeting and your reaction to these drills. It seems Communist China is going to tell the U.S. what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, they have a habit of doing that, telling us who we can meet, where we can meet, who can be our ally, who can't be our ally, and so look, we just need to continue doing what we're doing. The meeting with the president was extremely useful for us. It was a bipartisan meeting. We had a number of Democrat and Republican lawmakers there, and a conversation with her. She answered a lot of our questions, and I thought it was really, really productive. So
when you say it was very productive and it was helpful, what did you learn that's helpful?
Well, I think that one of the things that I learned from that is that they have a desire to produce their own weapons. It's something that I hadn't heard before, and so she had asked for an acceleration of the weapons delivery. A lot of weapons have been authorized, but the Biden administration has failed to deliver them. We need to get those weapons to Taiwan as soon as possible. And then she also said, look, we need more. So if you allow us, we will produce some of these weapons that we're asking for. I think that's a pretty good idea. Obviously, we're not going to give away some of our technology, but some of the stuff that's a little bit more mundane, they should be able to produce their own weapons. They need it. They need to become a porcupine, so it becomes very, very difficult to invade Taiwan from China.
Well, just to be clear, the contract in terms of the weapons that you're referring to that were promised to Taiwan, that happened years ago, right? How many years has it been that Taiwan is waiting for these weapons, and why isn't the White House releasing the weapons? Are they doing this to appease China?
Look, the thing about Joe Biden is that whatever he says, don't worry about what he says. It's what he does. So he'll say, "Oh, we're going to be giving these weapons to Ukraine or to Taiwan, or we're going to do this, that." Whatever he says, count on the opposite. So I don't know why it's being held up. They need it now. Actually, they need it yesterday. This timetable that a lot of our intelligence agencies have of maybe 2027. I think that's a little bit too optimistic. I don't think the Chinese are going to wait for the Taiwanese to actually arm up before they launch their invasion. And every indication is that China is really getting ready to launch an invasion to forcibly, unite Taiwan to mainland China.
Yeah. Well, Mike Gallagher was on the show a couple of weeks ago, said that it's likely next year, 2024, that the CCP will do it. They want to do it on Joe Biden's watch, given his soft approach to China. And there's an election here and there's an election in Taiwan. So both are distracted.
Yeah, and look, and he's absolutely 100% right. 2024 sounds like the year, because I don't think the Chinese can take the chance there'll be another U.S. president that's not named Joe Biden. Joe Biden has demonstrated his weakness throughout his first 3 years, and I don't think he's going to change. He's been wrong on everything for the last 50 years, and he'll be wrong again. And so China is going to take advantage of that. So yeah, 2024. Unfortunately, could be the year.
Congressman, hi, James Freeman of the Wall Street Journal. Speaking of upcoming elections in Taiwan, I'm wondering if the president gave you any thoughts on the politics in Taiwan as far as the approach to resisting Chinese aggression.
We're talking about President Tsai. She didn't talk too much about the elections. I don't think that we want to get involved in those elections, steer it one way or the other.
Yeah.
I think that's a reason why. Speaker McCarthy actually met her here in California.
Okay.
Will they actually? What will the Taiwanese do in case of a Chinese invasion? Are they going to resist? Are they going to fight? She indicated yes, that they're going to fight. Something like the Ukrainians are doing right now against the Russians.
Let me switch gears, ask you about the wide open border, because the White House says that it's outlining new strategies to crack down on the flow of fentanyl coming into the country. They say that they'll strengthen information sharing with national intelligence and law enforcement agencies as one way, but also calling out Congress to, quote, close legal loopholes for illicit synthetic drugs, Congressman. So now it's on you and your colleagues. Can you close these legal loopholes?
Yeah.
Is it your fault?
Sure, I'm sure our laws they really enforce our laws in Mexico. Those drugs, the chemicals are going from China into Mexico. The cartels are then manufacturing it in Mexico. I don't know of any U.S. law that stops that. So again, don't listen to what Biden administration is saying. You got to see what they're doing, and they're doing absolutely nothing. And the biggest duty we have as government is to protect the American people. And when you have over 80,000 to 100,000 Americans dying every single year from fentanyl overdose, this administration does nothing but talk and rhetoric instead of taking action. It's time that we take action against those cartels that to me, they're like terrorist organizations, killing 300 Americans every single day.
Yeah.
And the Biden administration does absolutely nothing but talk and information sharing. I am sure the cartel is shaking in their boots that we're going to be sharing information.
That's unbelievable. Meanwhile, the White House is hiring more IRS agents. So you're going to have more IRS agents than you have border agents. You've got 15,000 border agents right now. They're hiring an additional 30,000 IRS agents, Congressman. So we know where the priority is. I thought you and your colleagues were going to stop that.
Well, look, we passed legislation about it, but then that has to be passed by the Senate, and the president has to, sign it, and he's not going to sign that. I think that the way to stop it now is with the debt limit negotiations. We have to put pressure on the president to say we don't want those 80,000 IRS agents. It's $80 billion that we can save. This is expense that's unnecessary. So let's use the debt ceiling in negotiations to get what we want and what we promised for the American people.
Congressman, thank you. We will be watching. Carlos Gimenez joining us this morning. We appreciate your time. Quick break, and then former NBA star Enes Kanter. Freedom is here on